Welcome to Remote Community Day. As Evita told, I'm Raimons Svanauskis, founder and CEO of eazyBI. And half of the time I'm doing my CEO duties, managing, leading our team, doing presentations about eazyBI. But the other half of the time, I'm still a computer geek and a programmer, and I enjoy in everyday work still contribute to eazyBI development. We started eazyBI Community Days 3 years ago, and initially for 2 years we did the event in our home country, Latvia, in Riga. Then last year we decided we want to go internationally with the event, and we did it after the Atlassian Summit in Las Vegas and then in Riga. And this year the plan was the same, to do it both in Las Vegas and Riga, but unfortunately things changed for all of us. But as we prepared a lot of interesting presentations for our customers and partners, we wanted still to share it with you. And therefore, we decided that we will do our eazyBI Remote Community Day. And we did already the first one a month ago in the US time zones for our US customers and partners. And today we are doing our European one. But of course, there are also participants from other parts of the world. So the agenda for today is the following. You can see it also on our website. And the starting times are in Central European summertime. Please do adjustments to your time zone. So I will start with the latest updates about eazyBI features, future plans. Then my colleagues Zana and Martin will continue with eazyBI and Confluence, the first date, so telling about our newest product, eazyBI for Confluence. Then we'll have a coffee break, and this time this is on you, so you need to organize it for yourself for 15 minutes. But you can still continue to ask some questions in the chat, and we'll follow what's happening in the chat in the meantime. Then we'll continue with one of the newest colleagues, Gerda, who was previously a Jira admin, will share her journey as a Jira admin to eazyBI. Then Ilse will continue with how to create smart reports without any MDX custom calculations. And Robert will tell about how to build reports on different data sources, not on Jira and Confluence. Then we'll have a longer break for lunch for 45 minutes. Then my colleague Yanis will tell about how to build different types of burn down charts in eazyBI. And then there will be more advanced topics from Dinah, how to build complex filters in eazyBI, as well as Lauma will tell how to do a safe journey with MDX custom calculations. And after the next coffee break, there will be the final sessions by our developer, Yanis's, how to administer eazyBI for Jira Server, as well as how we are building our user interface so that our users don't need to think about the UI. And we will wrap the event at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Central European time. And as Evita mentioned, we wanted to make this as a live event, and we are doing our presentations live, as well as we would like to hear your feedback about topics presented or questions about anything else eazyBI related. And probably the best place would be that if you would join the Slack workspace that we have created, as there it would be easier for you to ask questions, and then we can answer in the Slack workspace in the corresponding threads to your questions. After the event, I wanted to remind that please use, if you don't have used it yet, our community discussion forums website, community.eazybi.com, where you can ask questions, where you can share some answers or best practices from your experience with other customers and users of eazyBI. So this is our eazyBI current team. many of us you will see during today's presentations. And probably some of you have already noticed that we have uneven distribution of the first names in our eazyBI team. So I made an updated pie chart of team names, and you can see that 38% of us are named Jānis. So it is the most popular first name in the Latvia, and it's similar to John in English or Johann in German or Jean in French, but it's not so popular. So I don't know why it is so popular in our company. But it's just a reminder, if you write to us and say that you discuss something with Jānis, then probably will not know who he was. Jānis is not a unique identifier in our company. But let's get started with the core topic of my presentation about the first about the latest features that we have introduced in eazyBI during the last 6 months. So at first I wanted to remind that we have in our documentation sites detailed change logs where you can see all the new things that were introduced in each eazyBI version, all the new features, bug fixes. But I wanted to highlight some main new features in the previous last releases. So if we start with the eazyBI version 5.1, the main new thing that we introduced was DevOps Metrics from Bitbucket, pull requests, Bamboo builds, and Jira incidents. So if you are using Atlassian stack as your DevOps platform, you can get standard metrics out of that. Then we added some predefined time dimension calculated members for frequent time selections like current month, last 12 months, last 30 days. We updated our charts library, and one useful feature is that you can, with mouse hover, highlight individual chart series, which is useful when, for example, you are presenting some charts to your colleagues. Here is an example screenshot how these predefined DevOps metrics and dashboard look like, that you can analyze pull request, average development time or review time, build quality metrics, incidents, etc. If we move to eazyBI 5.2, the main features were several charts feature updates. We introduced stacked charts with relative percentage. We allowed to show drilled into member names in charts, as well as we introduced vertical lines in bar and line charts, which previously were available just in timeline charts. For example, here, if we are looking at a stacked bar chart, then on the top you can see that previously you could see just the absolute values of these stacked values. Now in the latest release, we allowed to switch to the relative percentage view so that you can compare how the percentage-wise distribution have changed. And the other feature that I mentioned was show vertical lines with some labels that were previously available just in timeline. Now you can use it also in the bar and line charts, where you can put on these vertical lines, for example, some fixed versions when they were released or when sprints were started or finished, and then correlate that with other metrics. And then if we move to the eazyBI version 5.3, the first feature, which was very useful and requested for a long time, was to drill into a single measure by another dimension. Then we did several Gantt chart updates and improvements. We introduced custom multi-weekly hierarchies so that you can define additional weekly hierarchies in 2-week, 3-week, or 4-week periods, as well as we improved eazyBI Database Migrator. Regarding drill into a single measure, for example, if you have in your report several measures, for example, issues created, resolved, and issues due, but then quite often you just want one measure to see its distribution across other dimensions. And this is now possible, that you can click just on this one measure and drill into another dimension, for example, in priority dimension, and then just see how it's distributed across that other dimension. For the Gantt chart, we introduced several new views. Previously, you could see Gantt charts just in daily or monthly view. Now we introduce that you can see it also in a weekly, quarterly, or yearly view, and then select what is the best representation to see the full timeline of your versions or sprints or individual issues. Then we did improvements in our eazyBI Database Migrator. So the one use case is that you can use it to migrate your eazyBI installation from one Jira server or data center to a different instance. But quite often, previously the only option was that from the new instance, you needed to connect to the previous database to migrate eazyBI database data. But if you are moving the whole data center from one place to another, probably you couldn't connect to the previous database from the new data center. Therefore, we introduced this new feature that you can export all eazyBI database contents in a single zip file, and then transfer this zip file and upload to the new instance and import the data there. But the other new improvement is that we introduced eazyBI Database Migrator to Jira Cloud. So we are fully supporting Atlassian strategy to make cloud the best deployment platform. And we want to help those customers who are migrating from their Jira server or data center to cloud installations. And it works good together with the standard Atlassian migration assistance for Jira and Confluence. You can start with migrating the core Jira data, and then you can specify your cloud connection parameters, specify your cloud site, your user email, and API token for authentication. And then all your eazyBI database contents will be migrated and mapped to the corresponding new values in your cloud instance. Also, we have made several improvements specifically for Jira Cloud. We improved our next-gen project reporting support. We introduced project-specific issue type, statuses, custom field support, as well as next-gen story point estimate and epic support. We integrate with other apps in the cloud, and we previously already had integration with Tempo timesheets. Now we introduce support for Tempo Cloud planned hours. As well as we recently created integration with X-ray test management in the cloud. Also, we are continuing to work on improving our cloud infrastructure and security. eazyBI Cloud is hosted and is running on a Google Cloud platform. And we are using our European data center in Google Cloud. Previously, some of the services were located on a dedicated application or database servers. And if there were some problems with it, or when we needed to do upgrade of these services, it could introduce some unavailability of eazyBI during that time. So therefore, during the last months, we have improved redundancy of all services in the cloud, and also helping us to make our cloud infrastructure more scalable to support the growing number of customers in the cloud, and which has helped to improve our availability in the cloud. As well as we are running the largest eazyBI installation in the whole world, it helps us to monitor and improve eazyBI performance for such large volumes and scale. And as eazyBI is the same product in the cloud and on the server, these improvements help also to improve the scalability and performance of eazyBI on the server installations. Also, we are active participants in Atlassian Cloud Security Program. We implement support for all the latest guidelines and recommendations in the security area, as well as we are participating in bug bounty programs, both in Atlassian Marketplace bug bounty program, which is hosted on BugCrowd, as well as for many years we have been participating in HackerOne bug bounty program, where every week security researchers are testing eazyBI and trying to find some vulnerabilities and reporting to us, and we are fixing them. before any bad guys are finding these things. And we are improving our security all the time. Also, in the last year, at the end of the last year, we introduced the new product eazyBI for Confluence, and there will be more detailed presentation about that in the next session. But just shortly, we introduced support for Confluence content analytics, like page created, updated, page views, search queries, as well as eazyBI for Confluence provides much better Confluence macros for publishing eazyBI reports and dashboards, both from Confluence as well as from Jira. And in the latest version, we also are supporting Confluence page PDF exports, and eazyBI reports will be included in these PDF exports as well. And eazyBI for Confluence is also data center compatible now, and it's approved by Atlassian. So now let's move to the what's upcoming. And I prepared this presentation, started to work on this a month ago, and then I was telling what's upcoming, but now I needed to update the presentation, what's new, and what's new in eazyBI version 6, which is available now. It's available in the cloud already a month ago, and on this Monday, we released on Atlassian Marketplace eazyBI version 6, both for Jira and Confluence, both for server, data center. So it's available on all platforms. Yoo-hoo! So what are the main new things? So the main new thing that you will notice is the new user interface. We haven't updated our user interface for some time, and we had some suggestions from customers. We had some thoughts by ourselves, and and also Atlassian changed their design guidelines, and we have started to work on that already a year ago. And we went through all the pages, all the UI design components, and we did the full refresh of the user interface. So there will be the last presentation by my colleague, our UI developer, Janis. He will talk about this in more detail. But the main things that you'll notice is that eazyBI now has a more lighter look with lighter background colors, lighter fonts, and which reduces the noise from your reports and charts and allows to focus on the main contents of your data. We introduced new standard color palette for charts. As previously, the problem was that we provided just some limited set of default colors, and then you could choose whatever other color you wanted. But it's very hard to pick a good consistent colors in your charts, and therefore we introduced much wider color palette for you with 7 basic colors, and in addition, grayscale colors. And then for each color, you can select from one of the 7 brightness levels. And now we think that it provides for the most use cases a good color palette to use. But if you still need, you can pick a custom color if you still need that. And also, the new UI design is compatible with Atlassian Design. So it will look good both in the cloud as well as on the latest server and data center versions of Jira and Confluence. So what are some other new improvements that we included in eazyBI version 6? It's a new set of sample reports for Jira core functionality. Previously, we had just 3 sample reports in this area, but we looked in our public demo account, what are the most popular reports and charts that users are looking at, and for which reports they are exporting report definitions, which means that they wanted to import these report definitions in their instances. And we took these most popular reports and made them as standard sample reports and charts, and we did some improvements there, and we made them more universal so that you can use them right away in your dashboards or in publish on Jira dashboards and just change your page selection to the corresponding project. And there are more standard things that you can start to use right away. Also, we improved our additional standard calculations that we already introduced in a previous version, version 5, but we added some new standard calculations so that you could just with a couple clicks add some additional calculations without writing any MDX code. And the most of them are regarding time ago calculations. So now it's much easier, for example, to select issues created in the current period and then select either previous period or month ago or year ago, or see changes or changes in percentage, how much it changed, and without writing any custom calculations. So there is one new upcoming feature which is not yet included in the current 6.0 version, but will be in the next upcoming version. What we are currently testing and finalizing is report-specific calculated measures. If you have large eazyBI accounts with a lot of reports, then you probably have also quite large set of user-defined calculated measures. And quite often, many of these are just needed in one or two reports. But currently, the only way was to add them in this large shared list of all user-defined calculated measures. So now we are introducing that you will be able to add report-specific calculated measures, which will be stored in the definition just of this one specific report. And it will appear just there, and then you can make much smaller these common shared user-defined measures. But everything else will be similar to the shared user-defined calculated measures. So that will be released soon, so wait for this new feature. Then we did several updates, how we handle sprint planned and actual dates, planned and actual start and end dates. As in Jira Software 8.7, new handling of these dates was introduced, that for sprints you can have a planned start date and then the actual activation date and time. And we changed and updated that we now calculate the sprint commitments according to this new activation date. If you use these sprint start and end dates in your custom calculations and reports, probably you will need to check them and update the formulas according to the changes that we have done. Then one more improvement is that you can freeze row headers in wide tables. So if you had wide tables with a lot of different columns, and you needed to do the horizontal scrolling in these wide tables, previously the row headings disappeared during this horizontal scrolling. So now we have introduced that if you freeze headers, then also the row headings stay in the same place, and it's now these wide tables are more useful. Then there are also several new improvements for Confluence in version 6.0. These will be also covered in more details in the next presentations, that now you can also analyze Confluence page inline tasks that you put as checkboxes in your for example, meeting notes, and if you would like to follow up whether you have completed some action items. So now you can analyze with eazyBI if you are really completing these action items. And as well as you can analyze Confluence page attachments to see which pages has the largest number of attachments or largest size of it. So as I mentioned, we have all the details about the 6.0 improvements, about the new features, about the many additional bug fixes in our change logs. Please go and see them there. In addition to improving the product, we also want to help how users are learning how to use eazyBI. As we know that eazyBI learning is gradual, and you need it to do in several steps. There are some basic things that are easier, and then there are more complex things. And we have a lot of documentation about that, but quite often it's easier to see how it's working. Therefore, we have spent many months and in cooperation with Atlassian University, we created new training videos. And so I can introduce the new season 1 with first 7 episodes of new getting started videos. And they are also available since this Monday in this documentation link. So another yoo-hoo about the new release. Yeah, these are some short videos, 5 to 10 minutes, where you can go in details about the general introduction to eazyBI, how to import data, how to start building reports, charts, sharing these reports, and how to get some additional reports from the demo account. So these would be very useful both for new users who are starting to work with eazyBI, as well as for existing customers. If you have new users in your organization who need to learn how to start using eazyBI, so this is a very good step how to start using them. Then there are already other videos that we have created previously, but we will start work on the next season as well for these type of videos to cover more advanced eazyBI topics. The other thing is regarding how we provide support. And many of you know that our primary support channel is email conversations. And you can contact us via email. And this is the most low friction way how you can contact us. You can just drop an email to support@eazyBI.com. But if you have a lot of conversation with us, then it's probably harder for you to follow up all the previous conversations and what was the status, and well, what was some suggestion that we did several conversations back. Therefore, already in the previous months, we introduced new web interface for support email conversations. So if you go to our contact support page, so if you are as a cloud user, so you will see right away, see previous conversations button, and you are already authenticated in eazyBI, and we know what is your email address. But if you will come from our server product through the support link, then your email address will be populated in this email address field. And then we'll suggest you that you can also try to go to the previous conversations. So in that case, you will need to authenticate, create an account in eazyBI.com and verify your email so that we know that this email belongs to you. And after that, you will be able to see what were your previous conversations from this email address with our support. You can see the list of all previous conversations, what was when it was updated the last time. Then you can go also to individual conversation and see the details, what happened, and even provide a short update there. So this was the update that I wanted to give to you this morning. And thank you for that. And as we are suggesting that if you have any questions during today, the preferred way is to use the Slack workspace. And we would be happy to communicate with you regarding that. But if you have some problems with connecting Slack, or you would prefer to ask in Zoom, you can use the Zoom Q&A as well. We will cover these things as well. And I hope that it will be an interesting day for you. And of course, I would be happy if you watch all the presentations. But if in case you have some other tasks to do, you can also just join particular presentations. All the presentations are recorded as well, and we will share later videos and presentation slides of presentations. So you will be able to watch some presentations later as well. So thank you for now, and now I will give the word back to my colleagues.